Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Coffee with Den, episode, what are we at? 73 today. So I am me, and my name's Dave, and in a minute we're going to have I Am for Ram's going to pop in, and also T Swift or Die will be back with us this morning. If you would like to join, it's an open call. So over on Den in the Coffee with Den Lair, there is a post, and at the top of that post there's a link to join the call. So you can do that. You can leave a reply in the reply section to that post, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can just chat in the YouTube chat. And all of that is rewarded with ownership of the layer in the show and stuff like that. If you don't know what that means, go ask me about it in the layer, or just ask me about it here in chat, and we'll talk about it. So I was a little bit late this morning getting going. It's 9:05 instead of 9. I was making a tutorial video for a question that was over in the support layer. And today we're going to look over some of the layers in general, some of the posts and layers, see what people are writing about. And I figured, hey, we might as well start with the one that I just posted, since it's relevant to, to the topic, and also some questions that were put up in support. So let's bring I Am up. I think he's finished with his technical difficulties for the morning. I had my technicals as well. I had to fix OBS Studio to do that video. So I Am, what's up? Oh, can I hear you? I don't know. Maybe it's my fault. Try it. Say words again. Oh yeah, maybe you're. I don't know. I don't hear you, bro. No audio. So we can just look at him. Let me just double check to make sure. No, I was just on with somebody else. It's you. All right. So if you want to come back with a microphone, you can do that, or charades. Guess what I Am is saying. All right. So here's what we'll do. I'm going to pull up that little tutorial video that I just made. I replied to your question again also this morning. I just made a quick little, you saw it. See, I saw it. We can do this. That's funny. This is how I communicate with half of my family whenever I'm visiting in Germany and stuff, is we just point to stuff and we do gestures and things like that. It works. Yeah. He spilled his coffee and he's angry. Maybe clean that up, buddy. So I threw up a tutorial in the how-to tutorials layer, which admittedly I have been neglecting. I had big plans. We all have big plans for layers, and then we get busy with something. So I was like, man, I should use the damn thing, and I did. And there's a question. This relates to a question. If you've been using Google Docs, I'll just go over to the support thread real quick. If you've been using Google Docs to draft a document and then copy and paste that into a post on Den, as a way to, get the formatting the way you want, but also to get not a video, what do you call it? A photo, an image to appear right in the middle of your post instead of just being an attachment. You might have noticed that doesn't work anymore. And it's either Google Docs or Chrome or a combination of the both of each. There is an update to the way that it copies images. The normal way, the way that I figure is the correct way, is what everybody's been doing, where when you copy and paste an image, it copies a link to the image. So the image exists over on Google's Google Doc servers, and it simply links over the internet to that image to tell the browser what to load. And that's how it appears in your post. And the difference with that and attaching an image is that when you attach an image, it's on Den's blockchain. It's actually on Den's infrastructure. If you post in line, you can do as many as you want this way, but if wherever that picture is hosted, whether it's Google Docs, if you delete the document, if it's a different website, if they take the image down or they replace the image with a different image of the same file name, it'll mess up your post, right? So that's the trade-off, is you don't have permanence or control over it, but you can put as many as you want in whatever resolution as you want. So anyway, if you've been doing that, they changed it to where now when you copy, you're copying literally the data for the image. So here's an example of what you're copying, and it has all this gobbledygook. And they've encoded the image in base 64 and made it to where the attempt is that you're actually encoding the image into text, and then you can interpret it with Markdown. That's why you're running into that like 100,000 character limit error message. So what it did is we had a conversation about all this, right? I posted initially a way to do it manually where you copy the link location here, and then you can use that in your post. And I gave a little example of what that looks like. But if you don't want to use your keyboard and you don't want to learn any Markdown, there's also a video in the tutorials layer now about how to do it easily. And to make it quick and short, you literally can drag and drop from one browser over to the other, and it just embeds it in there for you, and it references it correctly and all that stuff. So go watch that, and you can start putting pictures back in your posts. Now, John's here. Let me bring John up here and see if we can hear John. I can.
Yo, what's
John.
up?
What's up, man?
What's up? I'm here. I made it.
Fantastic. I am is here, and I am is going to mime school today. So the rule is that he can't speak.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
About you going to mime school. That's what I meant. It's awesome that you're going to mime school. Not the fact that you can't talk and that basically you're just like a weird moving GIF.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Is that it's awesome that you're going to mime school.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He is mowing his lawn, man. He's doing it.
I thought he was just dancing.
Or that is a dance. It could be both.
Nah, it's one or the other. That's how you're good at miming, because it has to be one or the other. You can't like
no ambiguity.
Yeah, there he was telling you how good the pizza was.
Mm-hmm.
It's real solid mime work. Honestly, you should be in New York instead of me. Yeah.
Did you run into any mimes on your dog walk? Do you mimes on the street? Do you have the street artists and stuff going on?
Yeah, but not like outside my apartment. Like if
your apartment's in too good of an area, what?
Yeah, I'm not. I'll put it this way: it's not in the middle of Times Square. Like the street artists don't just hang out and be like, here's a building.
That's true.
It's a little different.
Maybe they figured overflow. Maybe Times Square is too busy for the. There's no spots for them.
Yeah,
you gotta branch out.
There's so many. Yeah, I don't mind. Like where I am isn't really like a tourist area, so.
You still got man, it's been forever since I was out there, but I remember that like the Naked Cowboy. Is he still doing that thing out there? The Naked Cowboy guy in Times Square?
I haven't noticed any naked people in Times
No?
Square.
For a long time there was a naked cowboy, man. He was cowboy and was naked. He had a guitar over his crotch.
No, I haven't seen that.
Well, you haven't lived until you've seen that.
It was cold while I was here, so now that it's warming up, maybe he'll show up.
Didn't have the shelf for his guitar. Yeah.
The new thing now is everybody's got it's like TikTok video camera thing. So it's like you stand in the middle and then there's like a camera that goes around you and like takes a video of you.
Oh,
that's
like a booth. It's like a photo booth kind of.
Yeah, that's kind of the new thing. That's everywhere. Then there's like still street performers. There's definitely like dance performances and stuff like that. And like all the Disney characters are out.
Right.
In full force, but
well, cool.
It's no naked guitar guys. I'm sorry, buddy.
We got that in St. Augustine.
Yeah.
They tried to ban the street performers one year, and then everybody got upset because they liked it. Now they're back.
Yeah, they're great. I love it.
So yeah, I am had some technical difficulties, so he's gonna go tinker with that. Maybe he'll be back. Maybe he won't.
Hey, he hasn't gotten his 30 minutes in, so
I know.
I think you just have to. I think you have to just be on the show for a little bit.
Yeah.
You don't have to be on there for a full 30 minutes.
No.
Yeah. So really, he should be getting like 2 segments of a lot, but he's not here to hear that. So because he does like 30 minutes, like plus some.
Yeah, well, yeah. Usually the way I've been doing it is like the first one is kind of like a gimme. Like if you're here for a bit, cool, you made an appearance. But if you're like, you just can't like pop in for a minute and then leave, and then come back in 40 minutes and pop in, and then leave, and then come back in 30 minutes and then pop in.
Yeah, it's like an aggregated overall time.
Yeah.
But if you're here for like 37 minutes,
seems honestly, I don't care enough to have strict rules.
We need you to care.
No, I care. I just don't care about that. I think it's all fun and games. So the points matter a little bit.
We need you to care, buddy. We need you to care.
I'm not against handing out points where they aren't deserved, John. So,
cool.
Did you see the title today?
It's about
we're gonna look at layers
and layer reviews.
Yeah, we're gonna see what's up.
This is my favorite. I get to roast some layers. What are you doing? Get it together.
You wanna kick things off by roasting my video tutorial?
You made a video tutorial?
Yeah, this morning. Yeah, there was a support question about how to add images in your post, because what I was saying right before you popped in was people used to use Google Docs and then just copy paste from Google Docs, and it brought in the images and stuff too in the post. But that's changed. Google Docs and or web browsers had some kind of update, and they do the copying differently from Google Docs now. I don't know if Google got tired of people using their documents as an image host or something, but they changed the way that works. So there's still an easy way to do it. And I wrote this tutorial, or I recorded this tutorial this morning. I'm going to mute it and skip halfway through, because the meat of it is that if you didn't know, if it loads, you can actually just drag and drop images into the editor.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Can I write like a big ass thing and then make it an image and then put it in there so that way I can get around the character limit?
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm a genius.
Well, Google ain't loading it. YouTube is slowed this morning, so that might not work. But maybe you have different experience and you can go watch it your darn self. So the drawback is that basically you have to host the image somewhere. You can either go to like Imager, or you can even host it on Google Drive or something and make it like shareable where anybody who has the link can see it. An error occurred. Well, we don't care. We don't want the error. We want the video. See, even Google breaks.
What do you mean even? Google breaks all the time.
Yeah, I know.
Dave with the insight.
But basically, you see this cat picture here?
Yeah, that thing's hilarious. What the hell?
That cat picture is not on Den. It's on
like a customer service person.
It's on imager.io, right? And all I did was copy the location from Imager and say, hey, here it is. So the downside of doing it this way, the only big difference is that this image here that's attached is actually on Den's blockchain. It's on Den's like infrastructure. It's on Den. So it won't change. It won't go away, right? This one, if Imager gets rid of the image, or if somebody, wherever it's hosted, if somebody else controls that server,
if the hosting location goes down, then this thing goes down.
Or if they're sneaky and they change the image but keep the same file name, you can make whoever uses it, you can make their images turn into a different image.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah. So somebody thinks they're writing about cats, and then you can replace all the pictures. All of a sudden, their pictures are of dogs, or whatever, something like that.
I had a different idea.
Or dicks, or whatever.
That's what I was thinking. I think it's real funny. Everything that's hosted on Imager suddenly is no longer that. It's not like you paid to host it on Imager, so it's not like we're like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like we're in trouble for messing up your image. Yeah,
so if you don't own the web server, you have no control over what that image, whether it exists still or what it displays on your website.
That is really funny.
Yeah, I've seen that used before for like tricking people too, where people have like, I guess, compromised the image server to make the image show something different in some companies, like instructions for their customers. Anyway. Look at this cat, though. It's got like an arm on its face.
It looks like it's a customer service rep.
Oh, yeah. AT&T.
Were you trying to think of a cat pun?
Yeah. AT and Tabby cat. I don't know.
Oh, that's not bad. I like that.
Yeah, I can't think of any more cat stimmer service jokes.
That's pretty funny. That's good. I'll take it.
All
I
right.
don't mind the puns. Yeah.
So there's my favorite post. We're done with the show now.
Cool. I just saw Greg's
Oh yeah, I was in governance this morning looking at that
his
stuff.
Crypto Rogan picture.
Yeah, I noticed he's active like right now. Greg, I'm gonna message him and be like, "Where are you at?" He needs to be here to talk to us because he's on Den right now.
This is one of Tim Urban's drawings.
Let's just do it live.
Dude,
Let's DM. This is the part where we DM Greg. Where are you at, Greg? Now you get to see all my DMs. There's nothing important in there.
I was gonna say message. You might want to message him on like Telegram or something.
Pop into coffee with Den. I see you making governance GIs. My dude. People still say my dude?
Yeah. Put in the link to the show also.
Yeah, totally. Let's go to where am I? Lairs Coffee. Episode 73.
It's literally at the bottom of the screen and like
what are you talking about?
The StreamYard. Isn't there like a shareable link in here?
Oh, I don't know how to use StreamYard. I just appear on it.
I think there's like there should be a way to just share it here.
All right, Greg. I've direct tweeted him. Let's see if he pops in.
No, you should have put the actual link to like.
I did. I put both. I gave them both, bro.
All right, good. Because people are lazy, and I realized that if you don't like make it as easy as possible for people to do things, they're not going to do them.
You know, this is what I'm realizing too, and that's why I made that little video this morning where you can just drag and drop images, because I was trying to explain to people, just learn Markdown, right? Which is MySpace got away with that.
Yeah.
Reddit got away with that, right? But now things are like typically way easier for people to use. So everyone expects it to be way easier. Like when Reddit started, same exact problem. Did you know that the reason Imager, do you know Imager as the like image like host thing? The whole reason that exists.
I'm not a complete dum-dum.
Well, did you know that the whole reason it exists is because Reddit, also a Markdown-based posting platform, didn't have an image server. So some random Redditor was like, hey, I made an image server for you guys so you can host images. And that's how it was born. And people had to do the same thing where they use Markdown, little snippet, and embed the image, little internet history for you. So anyway, that's why I made that video this morning, because you can also just drag and drop into the editor, and that works without having to know how to use the keyboard. You could probably use just your thumbs if you wanted to, right?
Yeah.
So we got that. We'll see if Greg shows up.
Does he actively check his Twitter?
He is a fiend on Twitter, I'm sure.
Good to know.
Like I don't have his phone number or anything. Do I have his phone number?
All right.
Now I feel like we're on a mission to get Greg on here now.
I think that'd be a really funny mission. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
What's
you want to look at the world blockchain?
Oh, this is. I'm gonna call Greg.
You're gonna call him?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you want to look at the submissions?
Here, I'll pull that up if you want to.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Make your phone call.
Oops, there goes my headset.
Boobies, 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 boobies. Dave can't hear any of this, and I think that's hilarious.
What we got? Are there any submissions yet?
You guys know that Dave picks his nose? Hey, Dave, I totally wasn't saying anything weird while your headphones were off.
I wonder if he's going to answer his phone or his Twitter first. Nah, it's useless. He doesn't. He's having coffee by himself.
Okay. Here's some
stuff. Can't say I didn't try.
You could say that. You'd be wrong, though. I'm so tired. I had a show last night that went really, really well. I was like nervous because I never get nervous before shows. And then I was like nervous. I was like kind of like nervous about it all day. And then I got there. And then my duos partner went to the wrong. It was like a 2-person show, and he went to the wrong venue. So I was like, "Fuck! What am I gonna do? Am I gonna have to do the show by myself? Like, what am I gonna do?"
How late did they end up showing up in time?
Yeah, he showed up like 5 minutes before we were supposed to go on, so it worked out. And then we did a really good set, which was awesome.
Good.
But but yeah, as soon as he got there, I was like, okay, I'm not nervous anymore. I'm totally fine. And then as soon as we started, it's not nervous anymore. Like, it was so weird because like I was excited. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I'm nervous before a show. This is interesting. I'm never nervous. Like, what? This is awesome. And then, not anymore. Honey, I don't know what you're making, but it smells delicious. But it also somehow smells like lasagna. Oh my God. We went to this amazing restaurant yesterday.
He's on his way. He's coming. Awesome.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. So I feel like we need one. I want to throw one in here because I don't know what to, like, I feel weird like putting in a suggestion, but also not. Like, I can put in a suggestion. It's nice that I can't vote on my own, so I can't like whale it up.
Yeah, well,
But
yeah,
also,
whale.
but also like,
I throw him in there sometimes too.
well, like that way, if it's good, it'll actually rise, so I don't feel bad. Like,
Yeah, that's the idea. Is it's kind of like it should be. It should just be like there should be bad ones in there too. There should be all kinds of like. There are no stupid. I mean, there are stupid ones, but what am I trying to say? You should not. You should
stupid ones.
You shouldn't hold back. You shouldn't hold back. I threw one in there. I've got some dumb ones sometimes too, and that's the thing is like whichever ones get pushed to the top. We went out of order last week, but typically you go in order. The ones at the top get hit first, and if it doesn't get hit, that means it didn't get voted up far enough to get hit. So that's the idea. Although, last week we did not necessarily go out of order. It's that the order changed in the middle of the show because there was voting and stuff that happened after we started.
Yeah, no, we voted to make the changes, so it's not a big deal. We changed like the tax one to be tax week and all that kind of stuff.
Oh no, I meant the individual, like the replies in the same day, because you go from top down based on how they were voted on whenever we're fielding them. But then last week, in the middle of after we started with the first one, by the end of it, Sean's ended up being the first one, but we didn't get to his because there was voting during the show, so it changed the order of the questions.
That's not fair. But like also like, hey man, you're on the show. I'm gonna get the other people first.
I guess.
Like, I feel like that's like I feel like they get dibs. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, they can't vote on their own. So if it's voted at the top, they didn't vote themselves at the top. So presumably the community is who wants that question to be answered.
Fair.
That kind of thing.
You know what? I didn't think about it that way. You might be right, but also he talked for so long. He talked his question out. So if you're gonna hold us hostage with a 10-minute talk monologue about. I did
notice that
only Dave knows.
We could have definitely hit his question if he had left room for the question.
Yeah, if it would have easily.
Which is fine. I just think that's probably the reason we didn't have time to get to it because we couldn't settle on Game Gear for a while. Let's put Greg up. Greg's here.
I don't feel bad at all.
Greg, what's up? I like your avatar, sir.
How's it going? Thanks.
I wanted to talk to you about that. Do we want to do that one? I voted against it, but I can change my vote still.
Oh, you voted against it? Oh.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, man. Do we want to? Because it looks better now on your avatar here. Here, let me solo you.
I like it. It looks good.
Yeah, it looks better here than it did on the proposal. I think it was a resolution issue, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I don't have. Do I have any?
So that's changed my view. Go to governance. I don't know if you have any Crypto Joe Rogan.
I don't think I have any Crypto Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. Cool.
So I was in governance this morning. I saw you in there, Greg. That's why I pinged you and was like, "Get in here." But yeah. No, actually, that looks fine. Now that I've looked at it, maybe I'll go change my vote. Do we want to? You said that was like a temporary one to get started. Do you want an assist on it? Or
this one? No, I put some. Did I say it was temporary?
maybe I was reading 2 or 3 of your
Do you want?
proposals at the same time.
Yeah, I kind of went hog wild with the proposals this morning.
Good.
Um,
Good.
So, no, I actually put some thought and time into constructing this just so.
Dope. Well, here's what I'll do, because now that I've seen it, what it really looks like, I think there's an issue. I mean, it's not an issue. It's just kind of how it is, where the images in the GIs. So here's my GIs that I still got to vote for. Let's go to these.
I didn't realize that.
And where is it? Hot takes, Joe Rogan, banner, avatar. All right. It looks a little bit, I can't, maybe I could have zoomed in a bit, but it's kind of grainy. And I guess I just was being quick and I figured wrong. I thought it was like a quick thing that you said you wanted something else for, but let's go with it. Let's change. See, you can change your vote.
Yeah, if it still doesn't look good, we can always run it through some filters and.
It's not an issue. Yeah.
So. I've been playing around with AI photo enhancers lately. So
me freaking too. I've gotten way better at them than I used to be. Like way better.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love seeing if I can force an already heavy megapixel image into a higher resolution with artificial intelligence.
I've been doing it with Stable Diffusion with pretty good results.
Cool.
Question for you, Crypto Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Actually,
I think we should start calling it the Crypto Rogan Experience.
So I don't know if this is a issue with how Den is displaying it, but I don't actually see the proposed new name here. So what did you change it to?
I changed it to the Crypto Rogan Experience.
Okay. Boom. I like it. Commit.
Sweet.
And then this one is in hot takes. What do we got here? Oh, yeah. Description. Be fearless. Amanda will love it. I think this is her proposed layer. Spicier the better. I'm for it. All right. And that's how easy it is to vote in a DAO.
I like the emojis as part of the layer description. In case you didn't know what spicy looked like, here's what it looks like. A little devil head, a pepper, and something else. It's great.
Yup. Oh, you got to have it with hot takes, right? Because the whole point of a hot take is that you just sort of slapping something out there before you really think it through.
There is also June theme suggestions that we were just looking at. And did we go through them all already?
No, we didn't go through any of them. We looked at them and then it was really great. We looked at him. Dave took his headphones off for like 2 minutes while he called you. And then I said really weird things on the show that Dave couldn't hear because his headphones were off. So the only way to go find out what I was saying is to go rewatch the show during the part where Dave has his headphones off. This is the chaos of this show, by the way, as compared to World Blockchain Roundtable.
I've been meaning to come on this thing for so long. It's just Eastern time kept throwing me.
Yeah, it's early. It's an hour earlier for you. So
it's like because if it was 9 Central, I'd be host because I have to be on morning scrum.
True.
Yeah. So the fact that it's actually 8 o'clock here when you're doing it there.
Having coffee, getting ready to go. That's the whole thing. Yep.
Oh yeah. Although I'm caffeinating with carbonation, so I'm more of a diet dew in the morning as opposed to a coffee in the morning guy.
A
diet dew.
I'm Diet Mountain Dew.
I know a couple of Diet Mountain Dew people. Well, I knew one. Now I know 2 Diet Mountain Dew people, and they are like that's their. I don't get it, but everybody has their thing.
Of those 2, though, I'm definitely the only one that who's also cyber squatting the actual Diet Mountain Dew text as an ENS name. So I have dietmtndew.eat.
You are the guy then.
Yep. Yeah.
I do think that I'm going to probably. There's a building in Vegas called the Strat. It looks like the Space Needle in Seattle. There's a Mountain Dew sponsored bungee jump off the top of that thing.
Oh, awesome.
I think I'm going to do that later this month.
I would absolutely do that. That sounds like fun.
I feel like having a Diet Mountain Dew in the morning is the most like computer programmer thing you could possibly do. Like, I don't know how that wasn't in the movie Hackers. Like, how is this not in every like cyberpunk show? It's just
I have
another
no
version. I
idea.
guess maybe that's what Sludge is or Surge is.
Well,
no,
it is-
that movie was like from the '80s generation, right? So it had to be like,
it was 1995.
well, yeah, but like it was built with the '80s sensibility, right? Like every movie up until 1995 was practically just a late '80s movie.
Fair.
So I think maybe it was like Tab or RC at the time. My guess.
In reality, today it is Club Mate. Club Mate is the traditional hacker beverage of choice.
Really?
Yep, Chaos Computer Club has a vending machine. A lot of the conferences that you go to, one of the priorities is to make sure that there's Club Mate available. It's just become a thing, and it's one small, like, family-owned bottle factory that
So
makes it.
It's like their Fago if they were Juggalos.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's the Fago of hackers communities. Yeah,
That's
Club
wacky.
Mate. It's got a little wizard on it. You want to look it up? It's a whole thing.
It's a clam flavored beverage, isn't it?
No, it's yerba mate and tea, and I mean, sorry, club soda.
I was thinking of Clamato.
Oh yeah, this little wizard guy here.
Let's say make Bloody Marys, or Bloody.
This is it.
I've never seen that before.
They've got it at the top, or they used to have them at the top, or the Papa Top.
That explains
locally.
why they have that at Eat Denver. It's actually pretty good.
I can't tell if that's a witch or just an Orthodox Jewish person. Like it looks
right.
like the same.
Well, the hat's taller than.
It looks like they have like the little the hair tassel thingies. I don't think this is offensive.
You can never tell anymore.
I don't think any strict Orthodox are tuning into the show.
It's a strict Orthodox Jew dressing up as a witch for Halloween. Is what that is.
Actually, the classical old German folklore gingerbread house witch was definitely an anti-Semitic meme.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there was a lot of stuff that was like that made it onto the store shelves. I'll say, back in the day. I don't think there was anything in Hackers that was especially bad though. That was a great movie, and I thought it was well researched. It's gimmicky as hell. It's Hollywood. It's Hollywood hacking, but it's actually like they've got going through proxy servers. They've got a representation of what Tor is basically before Tor was even a thing. They've got the demo scene vernacular shoved in there where different hacking groups would give demos and then like give shout outs to other hacking groups by saying fuck you, like I want to send my fucks to this whatever, or fuck you that community. That was always a compliment, so that made it into the movie. If you notice where the plague demolishes Zero Cool's boombox and he goes, I don't know, there's a whole exchange there. It's got stuff that's like you could tell that they had an advisor, and then that went through the filter of writers in Hollywood and it became this obscene thing, but the seed was there, and I thought that was there's a bunch of interesting ones in there.
If they remade it now, they do it right. But it was sort of like the 1980s version of Dune for hacking, right? Like it starts off with a core idea that's this really cool sci-fi epic, and then you get the writers a hold of it at that time, and they do something like install heart plugs in the guys that the Harkonnens have, or they do something like that end scene where they battle with each other directly during a penetration attack.
Yeah, isn't that the one where they had the little device that they would just shove into someone's back and it would suck all the water out of them?
Yeah. The thing is something like or it's like a plug they pulled out or something. I don't know. It was pretty zany. This is kind of up there with that, I think. I don't know.
Speaking of
Angelina Jolie was crush worthy though in that, so that was.
Oh, in Hackers, yeah, she did it. Yeah. She was that red leather. I mean, there was a whole dream scene with that,
right?
Oh
yeah.
So it was good stuff.
I'm convinced that role won her Lara Croft later.
Maybe it was a good. I mean, honestly, it was well performed. It was like my favorite. All of them did such a good job. It's one of my favorite movies for a lot of reasons. But like,
fantastic.
Probably I think Matthew Lillard is my favorite character in there. Serial killer.
Yeah.
There's a YouTube cut of that movie. It's 1995's Hackers, but all serial killer, no filler.
Yeah. Oh,
Where they just cut everything that doesn't have him in it, and that's the movie.
Oh yeah. Although
Stuff like that.
not sure if they were the first film. I'm just checking about this right now to actually do. Ooh, which one came out first, GoldenEye or Hackers?
To do what?
To do the Proto Tor router thing.
Oh, got you. Yeah. Yeah, remember they were on top of the building, so they were like dialing in from remote already, but then they had a little, basically a Tor routing thing on the screen. What was that, John?
Yeah.
They both came out in 95.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, because there was that one scene, where he's clicking the pen, the exploding pen, and the Dimitri guy is clicking the exploding pen. He's like trying to thwart Natasha while she's tracking him down through all the relays he's sending.
Yeah.
Maybe did they share any writers? Maybe somebody cheated.
Seems almost like they did.
It was probably also just like a thing that was like common at the time, was like those little like tech things and stuff, especially from James Bond movies.
Well, I mean, and it's just not as sexy to hide your IP address through more conventional means.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I watched G.I. Joe last night. I never saw it when it came out before. It was like 2017 or something. I forget when it was. But man, that one it's got The Rock, it's got Die Hard guy, it's got
oh wow,
it's got some good people in it. And there was one scene where they were hiding their IP address, and it was one of those comical, like, I can have like a hidden beacon by hiding our IP address through a flippity floppity and a booble danger. You could tell somebody just made up some words to throw in there.
Right.
I always love watching the original Tron and like all the shit that they make up in that, of like what's inside of a computer. It's
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that and Reboot. I talked about Reboot before, but that TV show, that cartoon, where they were all the CPU, they were characters that were part of the CPU, and then the user would play games against the CPU, which would mean that they would have to jump in the game and fight the user.
yeah.
It was super cool.
Oh yeah. Well, and for me though, I'm kind of holding out for them to make Mask into a live action movie. That was my favorite.
Like Jim Carrey's The Mask, or
no, like Mask, like the '80s toy Mask.
I don't know Mask.
Oh man, really?
I don't think so.
It was ridiculous. It's like somehow there was a gull-winged Trans Am, and in this, the lead character could push a button, and those would become wings, and it would just fly. It was phenomenal.
That sounds cool.
It's kind of like Transformers, but instead of turning into like animatrons, like they just change into another kind of vehicle.
Let's see. I want to see what GPT-4 says about
it. Describe this.
Mask, the cartoon.
Thunderhawk.
Okay, yeah,
so all right.
Mask. Okay, so this is gonna say. Ooh, I think I'm gonna stump GPT. It's like.
Oh, is it not gonna know?
It's blinking at me.
Speaking of, while you're waiting on that, is
it? It might be connecting through RTC. Wait, no, it's going.
Is it? So previously, it was like 2 years behind in its data set, like the stuff that it knew about. And I read that they were hooking it up to the internet, the live internet, next. And is that the case now? Is it accessing up to date?
That is out. It's just out in like closed beta within closed beta. So like you already had to be approved for the regular OpenAI closed beta program, then you have to get approved for the additional one.
So which
sucks because I really want to play with the plugin augmented version, like badly.
Interesting.
They
Okay,
probably don't
good to
want
know.
me specifically to play with that though, because of what they know I'd probably do with it.
The Stable Diffusion people, they released an LLM as well. It's huge. I can't run it. It takes you need like 24 gigabytes of VRAM in your GPU, kind of thing.
Jesus.
Yeah.
LLM.
That is
large
the-
language model. This is the AI like Chat GPT-4 thing is language models. It's kind of where everything's going.
Dude, the new doomsday prepping is buying graphics cards. I'm convinced that like preppers are picking them all up.
I never did get my graphics card from Gravity Crab.
Okay, so MASC stands for Mobile Armored Strike Command with a K.
Oh, nice. They made it.
Yep.
They made it with a K so that it fit the acronym. That's fine. I'm okay with it.
But it was actually inspired by a line of action figures, so it was literally just a 30-minute long episodic toy commercial. But
That's what I had to explain to my wife last night when we were watching G.I. Joe. I was like, it's not supposed to be realistic. This is fine.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
That's totally, yeah, I get that doesn't make sense, but it's fine. It's just fun.
you teach good lessons about branding in there. You know, like it makes a great terrorist organization to steal a Family Guy joke. They always yell the name Cobra when they're attacking.
That was also Dino Riders, was also specifically created to sell toys. TV show Dino Riders.
Well, it was pretty much all cartoons up until Ren and Stimpy.
Well, Dino Riders came out like they were toys, and then they made the show to sell the toys better after they made the toys. It wasn't toys based on a popular show. It was a popular show based on toys. But yeah, I keep not talking about the world blockchain thing. So I wanted to point out that there's questions in here, but if you read the instructions, if you're listening, it says, please do not make Dragon Chain or DIN related suggestions. And the first thing is a DIN related suggestion. Brainstorm DIN adoption.
Points. Hey,
it's most points.
The people have spoken. Okay.
People apparently have spoken.
This is what they want to talk about. And really, we can just like.
Well, plus it's IM. Like I think he gets some free.
I was just
random rules violations whenever he wants.
What he has freestyle dedicated an hour on how to grow Den.social brainstorming event.
Okay. Yeah. So this is basically use World Blockchain Roundtable to have a working group on how to make DIN more adoptable.
I think that's what this show is.
This show, I've never known what this show is, John.
Yeah, you gotta figure it out. You're the showrunner.
I swear to
man.
God,
you gotta figure it out.
Den.social is literally one aggressively choreographed advertising campaign by a growth marketer away from just blowing up. You guys,
it has.
You guys,
I will
say
that it's got all the tools there.
You guys could spend $20,000 for 6 months in a row, and you could probably launch it. Like
that's very true. That's one of the things. That's one of the things that, like the foundation of it, the tools, the way that it works. There can be some quality of life improvements, like what we talked about before with the demo on how to add an inline post. Right now, we do it like original Reddit, where you have to know a little bit of Markdown to get an image in there.
Right.
But like it's so many things with a little bit of like if there was somebody who came in to invest in DAO, right? Who they were like, hey, I've got money and I will take this percentage of DAO, governance in exchange for using my money to make it awesome. You could do a lot, like you said, with relatively little bit of money.
I mean,
the marketing and the paid, a lot of what other networks have done in the past that we have not done is spending money on like faking it in the beginning, just to put it bluntly.
Community governance though is the killer app. Like nobody has that. You don't ever get to be the moderator and vote on policy at the same time.
Right. Well, that's the thing with moderating being left up to the community itself. Like the lot holders, the governance token holders, that's the mods. That's those are the only people that can like if you wanted to target a specific account and say you're not allowed to talk, you're banned from this layer. The only people that can do that are the people that hold those tokens can go into the settings, find that user, tick the tick that says they can't talk, and then that's a GI that people have to vote on, though. It's not a unilateral thing.
Right. Everybody has to. So you can't like silence everybody's favorite, Lair equivalent of Tucker Carlson by just being Rupert Murdoch. You have to
Right, and there literally are settings for that where you can pick on somebody. Like if I go into the Bitcoin layer, and I want to go to like specific profiles, no, go back, specific user moderation, right? You can still pick on people, but you have to do it as a group, as a team. I can go in here and say, hey, 3GXD, you're fake. You can't post, allow, disallow, default, deny. You know what I mean? Or if, like, let's say that the layer rules don't allow posting videos, you can go in here and say, okay, you can, even though it's not allowed, you specifically can post videos. And when you do that, it goes in as a GI, just like anything else, right? Any of these GIs for everybody to vote on.
Oh yeah,
which is pretty cool.
No, absolutely. That's freaking. I mean, honestly, I feel like you hammer that feature home with a clever ad campaign, and it takes off on its own.
That's what we don't have. We don't have a like organized ad campaign with messaging concisely designed for easy consumption and understanding, that kind of thing. That's absolutely something we do not have.
I have some total ideas for that, actually, and they're ideas that are practical. I bet you that nobody has ever considered using the DuckDuckGo conduit as a way to advertise it.
You know what, man? I'm getting more and more sick of the big Web 2 companies every day.
Oh, I hate them.
And anything like, people have their own issues with DuckDuckGo as well, but it's exponentially better than Google. Maybe not your search results. Maybe you have to try a bit harder to find stuff, but the company itself, it's got people looking at it, and you can advertise on there.
The problem is they're lashed to a Google index. That's the problem. Like, I literally went looking for a piece of writing that I knew was on the internet because I'd read it before, and I was really fascinated by it. Actually, I don't know if you guys are super familiar with one of my personal heroes who did not deserve what he got, Jacob Applebaum.
Yeah, that's not Crow. Is that Crow?
No, Jacob Applebaum.
That's a different Applebaum. Okay.
Is IO Error. That's his handle.
I remember that handle. I don't remember in the context. I do remember IO Error.
He used to be like the lead contributor and like spokesperson for the Tor project.
Okay.
And then when he made too much noise about them hiring an allegedly ex-CIA operative to the project, they staged a gigantic sort of info op against him to get him Me Too'd. But it was all entirely fake, and I know it's entirely fake because of this piece where one of the members of the security community at the time, like, instead of just jumping on the bandwagon, decided to look closely at it because she thought, as a rape survivor herself, it was suspicious how these women were talking about him because they didn't sound like real rape survivors. And the more she dug into it, the more it was like, oh, this is just what they tried to do to Julian Assange in Amsterdam.
I was going to say, if that's true, then it reminds me of what happened with Assange.
Well, and Applebaum was working with WikiLeaks too, so like it would make sense that the state would go after him. Anyway,
yeah, that is interesting.
So I went looking for this old piece that, by the way, while we're on here, just in case anybody's listening and wants to know, it is called. Oh, what is the name of this thing? Oh, I'm not sure if I can switch tabs without shutting off my link right now. But
one way to find out, isn't there?
So, well, I'm gonna switch back. Oh, I'm still here, aren't I?
Yeah, you are. It worked.
Yeah. Okay, so it totally worked. Sweet. If I can find this real quick. So I did find it. It's a website called theinditer.com.
Inditer?
Yeah. Here, I'll show the link. The story was a series called The Weaponizing of Social Part, and it has several parts. The first part is the crucifixion of IO Error.
Oh, okay. So it's a story about that event or that series of events.
It was this woman who thought it was fishy and then started digging deeper and found out that actually, yeah, it was pretty freaking fishy.
Interesting. Yeah, throw it up on Den. Maybe even in the history layer
Yeah, that's
or
a good
something.
idea.
Because
But
it's technically history. Everything's technically history, right?
yeah, but they really like did a number on that guy because he was a threat to like the security establishment.
It's
With all the stuff
interesting
he was
that
doing.
it's interesting to me. Now, maybe I don't understand what happened well enough because I haven't read up on it, but like that people would have a problem with security in like CIA people or government people coming into the project in the first place with Tor specifically because it was literally written at the Naval Research Lab.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it,
Well, no, I
it was
mean,
developed by the Navy, by the government in the first place. So
right?
like, why
They
does it
didn't want
matter if the's government people working
because
on it still? I guess.
he was resisting their efforts to tame it. You know.
I don't know if I buy that.
It wasn't so, and that wasn't what they were after him for. They were after him because he also contributed to WikiLeaks.
Okay.
Like he was like in the. If you've ever read Julian Assange's cypherpunks.
I haven't read Assange's stuff since I was looking into like rubber hose encryption and stuff. To be honest with you, I mean, I've read WikiLeaks and I've read like stories that have come out and stuff, but I haven't read his writings.
IO Error was basically like Assange's right hand dude and bud for a while.
Okay.
So he painted a target on his own back, right?
But yeah. So they were not.
They went after him like dark and hard.
Yeah. Well, I'll look into it and see what's up.
Yep. Yeah,
but yeah, it's weird.
Crazy, man.
I don't buy that the central government wants to tame Tor, to be honest with you, because the whole reason, from what I understand, that it was open sourced in the first place was because if you don't have massive numbers of people using it, including criminals, including people that are protesting in Hong Kong, including people that are journalists, and all different types of humans. If you don't have randomization and massive random people using the network, you don't have as good of security for it. And it was developed for behind enemy lines operatives to be able to dial home and send and communicate back home. And so I would think that they would want to have it a wild network so that they don't compromise their own anonymity for their own agents.
Except to the extent that it facilitates unfiltered freedom of expression, which is now something that the United States is uniquely opposed to, and the used to be the opposite.
Yeah, but doesn't that still introduce a pattern and patterns are bad for anonymity and cryptography and stuff? Like.
Well, yeah, I mean, the more, so they just had to control more exit nodes, right? That was really the thing.
I see what you're saying. So it is not an issue about not letting people use it for whatever. It's an issue of not letting them be anonymous unless they want them to be anonymous.
It was basically like they wanted people to feel like they were safe while not actually being safe, sort of like the rest of the internet, but for regular people.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted all these security researchers and all the folks who were doing like really adversarial and dissident journalism. They wanted them to all feel safe with the CIA having like a sort of what was the name of the project where they cracked Enigma?
Oh, I don't know. I know what you're talking about. I don't know what the name of the project was, but yeah.
They only wanted to statistically, plausibly sink a few select battle groups, right? They didn't want to go after the whole army. They just wanted
that I can buy.
Able to take out,
because that seems like it's in line with what. Like these are the same people that want to backdoor encryption, and they think, oh, as long as nobody has the key except for us, it'll be totally fine. Nobody will misuse this,
Which is completely silly because people could use the approved encryption standard with just a layer of illegal encryption under it, unless they spied on everybody, they'd never know.
I talked to a guy. I used to live in DC, and there's a group up there called Nova Hackers, and they meet like on a Monday every month in just a bunch of random people that sometimes they'll present on how to hook your coffee machine up to Twitter and control it with tweets. And sometimes they'll present on like 0 days that are not in the wild yet, like a whole vastly like dynamic group of people. And I talked to one guy who was specifically working on Tor stuff. And what he told me, and I believe him, is that if you exit to the ClearNet, he can track you. Period. He was saying the only way to get around that was to not exit, basically, to turn off exit.
Right. If you stay exclusively on hidden services.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And even that off.
And even that is not necessarily like,
you have to shut off scripting altogether. And
there's a lot of stuff.
Your browser's not being compromised in a way that makes the scripting disabling not work.
And do you know how they were finding some of these hidden services? Is they were basically they were strategically flooding it with traffic.
Oh.
So that they could look at the whole internet and see where the patterns of traffic were flowing. They didn't care what the traffic was, but if they introduced heavy enough traffic from a bunch of different angles,
create a signal that would allow them to map the network.
Then they could say, "Oh, looks like everything's going to this data center," that kind of thing.
Right, because they could actually just rely on the fact that they're camped out at every single major internet relay in the developing and undeveloped world.
Well, this was a really good preview for a Crypto Joe Rogan episode, because we can dive into stuff like this that I think is interesting.
Dude, we are going to go ridiculously deep. It's going to be so much fun. I'm also going to one of the things I'm excited to do is one of my favorite parts about the Joe variant of the Rogan thing is how he just lets people go off on tangents about what they're interested in, like random stuff. You learn so much interesting texture about interesting people.
Yeah, I appreciate that about Lex Friedman too. These long form conversations. I watched part of an interview with who's the guy? Freaking Doom, id Software, Quake. Is it? I forgot his name. Anyway,
oh shit,
that guy.
Go guys,
get out of here.
I'm 1 minute late for Scrum, but I did want to point out a really cool conspiracy post in the conspiracy theory layer.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit! Why Tucker Carlson was a psyop?
Interesting. All right, I'm going there right now.
All right. I'll
have a good one.
You guys later.
See ya.
So,
I want to be clear. I understood everything you guys were talking about.
Far out.
Completely knew everything at the same time.
Flex Friedman did a 5.5 hour interview, is what I was saying a minute ago. Yeah. 5.5 hours. I was like, that's the longest one he's done yet. But yeah, leaves a lot of material to cut and then throw up short YouTube videos on the most interesting sound bites. So since today we're supposed to be looking at posts, let's look at this one that Greg just pointed us at. So Tucker Carlson was taken off of Fox. He's apparently doing a show on Twitter now, since Fox won't release him for his contract, but they won't let him have a show. He can't go to another network still.
Yeah.
And I guess since Twitter's not a network, he can do a show on Twitter. And so that's the current thing.
I'm sure lawyers will tell him he can at some point, but
yeah, they'll figure it out. So what does this say? In the conspiracy theories layer, which by the way, only allows anonymous posting. You're not allowed to say who you are when you post in there. Yeah. So anonymous says why Tucker Carlson was taken off Fox. Fox News is just the purple empire's red puppet. Right off the bat, there's too many colors. I have no idea what that means.
It means, so purple is the combination of red and blue.
Oh, is it like the uniparty thing?
Yeah, the purple empire is like, so it's probably closer to being like the CIA. Like the CIA isn't in the pockets of the Democrats or Republicans. They kind of do what they want from this outside area. So
gotcha. And is red puppet a communism thing, or is red puppet? What is red puppet?
I think
there?
red puppet's just Republicans.
Okay. Oh, I get it now. The purple. Thanks for being here, John.
Yeah.
So Fox News is just the purple empire's red puppet. So they got blue puppets and red puppets. That makes sense. All right.
Yeah. So yeah.
In the context of this theory, I'm not. Okay, never mind.
You're good.
The real question is why they ever let him on the regime's primetime puppet theater to begin with. Theory.
And puppet theater is going to be just news networks.
Yeah, gotcha. No, this is important because I don't always get things. In fact, I really do.
I got you.
Theory. What if they did it so they could one day distract everyone every one of his fans with the act of removing him? If true, what were they trying to distract us from when they burned his 0-day mass mind exploit? So the idea here is that they specifically were using him as a break glass to in case of emergency situation. So he was there so that one day they could fire him to create a distraction if they needed to.
Do you think I think this is a very silly theory because that seems like a lot of work to just create a distraction.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna put up a crazy person that's then gonna cost you millions and millions and millions of dollars. So for a break,
there's much more effective and efficient ways to create distractions, basically.
Also the idea that this is from like the purple government or the purple empire, like I don't think there's a very coordinated effort on behalf of both like TV news networks to like do certain things. So I don't know if this is quite something I would buy. I did see that Trump was actually indicted for like sexual harassment and like had to pay like a giant fine as well.
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I haven't been hearing a lot of news about that. So that's fun that somebody who, did that is running for president. So that's cool. But
maybe that's it with the conspiracy theory.
I don't think
maybe
I don't think that's what they were trying to distract you from. I think they've got bigger fish to fry. I think I'm crossing my fingers and my toes that Trump just kind of sinks on his own. On the other hand, I am honestly worried that DeSantis could be worse.
I heard
he lacks the soul and ego, whereas Trump at least has an ego that you can mess with. So
you know what they were saying in Germany whenever I was talking to my European side, they were saying that DeSantis is like Trump with a brain.
Yeah, well,
which could be more dangerous.
Well, I don't think DeSantis has like a brain. I think he's just more like with an ego. It's harder to control. Like it's harder to control Trump, right? Because like he flip flops on his own ideas every other day,
right?
Whereas like DeSantis will go,
yeah, he's pretty unhinged.
What we're doing, I'll go do that, and he'll just go do that. It is what it feels like.
DeSantis does like he seems more focused, right? If you're comparing the two.
Yeah,
he seems more focused on his goals, and he has an idea. I think DeSantis has an idea of what his goals are, whereas Trump doesn't really seem to have an idea of what his goals are unless he has somebody telling him what's going to be popular and what's going to make people like him or what's going to make him more money or something like that.
Exactly.
And those change day to day.
Yeah. So that's the scary part. Anyway, yeah, I don't know if I buy that Tucker Carlson's firing came at a time to hide something. I don't know if I would buy that.
There's a lot of I was reading something yesterday where somebody was saying, look at the new monarchy coronation in UK. It came 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days after the death of Queen Elizabeth or something like that, right? And I was like, see, 666, it's the mark of the devil, yada, yada. But then I was like, okay, so what you're saying is 7 months, 2 weeks, 6 days? Because there's not a month that has 6 weeks in it. You're just making the numbers say what you want them to say by like changing how they're represented. That kind of thing.
No, I think I don't think there's that much effort in like nobody that's like got plans to take over the world is like I could only do it if I could put in the devil's number. Like, you know what I mean?
How do we make it obvious? Right? Yeah. Is what you're saying. It's like they go out of their way to say, oh, how do we signal this to make sure that everybody can figure out what we're doing?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's just the one weekend that was free Like, I think he was
You
just
think
like,
you think they were sitting around like, oh gosh, I don't know, man, but this is 6 months and 6 weeks and 6 days after the death. People aren't gonna like this one, but it's the only one that's available.
yeah. I think somebody was like, how long do you need to plan the coordination? They're like 6 months, and they go, great. And then they're like, all right, but give me like a little bit of a cushion. Okay, like a month and a half. Great. And then
Perfect.
that's what it was. Like a little bit of a cushion. All right, I'll give you a little bit more. I'll give you. Yeah, I think that's what it was. It's going to take 6 months to plan, and then a month and a half to like send out whatever else that needs to happen. Yeah.
Nice theory. Thanks for posting, but I don't think I buy it.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So I voted it up, even though I disagree with it, because this is not voting for what you agree with. It's voting for things that could start a conversation and are interesting. So I thought it was interesting, so I voted it up.
That's how you want it to be, buddy. That's
Yep.
how you want it to
We're not voting on whether it's true or not. We're voting on whether it's interesting and good content.
Makes sense to me. Hey, I got a question.
Sure.
I gotta share it. Share screen of window. This one. Cool. So I've got a whole bunch of credits from Audible.
Oh, word. Me too. I got to go spend some. What can we buy together? You want to do a book club purchase?
I was thinking about doing a crypto. Like, I don't know enough about this shit, man. And I gotta learn something if I want to be a person in the future. Because I feel like it's just honestly gonna like our generation. Because we're like in this weird way, we're like couldn't stop learning from the time the internet was invented. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, and having to be self-taught almost, like, because our parents didn't know it. Nobody else knew it because this was like the newest thing for us, and we were kids, so we were having to figure this shit out. So like, I was thinking about like getting a crypto book. I like how the Clash of Kings is in here, but
yeah, let's pick a couple out. I can recommend some because there's a lot of garbage out there too that are just money grabs, basically. Yeah,
I didn't like. I was like, this one's got a lot, like 64 ratings, but it's popular. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Well, I'll give you. Let's start here.
Give me one.
What we can. So first of all, yes, nothing to do with cryptocurrency, but fuck yes.
What's it about?
I will tell you. It is about. Let's see. It is engrossing, insightful, fascinating, and often hysterical.
That doesn't help. I want to know what is it about?
It is a remarkable epic adventure of soldiers, secrets, gold, spies, code makers, and code breakers, conspiracies, power, pirates, prisoners, lovers, and great escapes from one of the boldest imaginations in contemporary fiction. How's that? And it's fucking huge too. It's a big, long mamma jamma. So listening to it's probably a good idea. Anyway, that book started a lot of things. It's important. It's up there with Neuromancer for me. It's up there with Snow Crash for me. These are all pre-metaverse, pre-cryptocurrency, pre-Bitcoin stuff that predicted what's going on today. So definitely recommend it. Right. For cryptocurrency, so you see Snow Crash is down there too.
You're just learning this kind of stuff. Like, I'm looking for like a teach me book, not a sci-fi.
Yep. Book. Okay, so let's get to the basics real quick and look up a book called The Bitcoin Standard. This is a pretty good one from an economics professor at a university. And in it, there you go, from Safety. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I'll call him Safety Anonymous.
That's mean. Let's see how the audio sounds.
And so this is going to argue for Bitcoin. It's going to argue for Bitcoin in a way that is going to try to convince you not to take any other cryptocurrency seriously, though. Right? So it has definitely a specific point that it's trying to make.
How old is it?
It's not too old.
No,
I
release
don't-
date was 2018.
18. Yeah. So Bitcoin was unleashed in 09.
Yeah.
So this was 9 years after that. So this makes the case for Bitcoin as sort of a gold standard replacement, right? I think it's a very important book. It's something that you probably, if you're trying to figure out why people are so nuts about this stuff, this is a really good book to start with. So I would get that. Let's see. There is.
The fiat standard.
The fiat standard is new. I haven't read this one yet.
It's by the same.
Yeah, that's the follow up. That's the follow up book. So maybe grab that one and let me borrow it.
The audio version of it.
Yeah, you can loan on Audible, right?
I don't fucking know.
I think so. Yeah. So the fiat standard, I have to check that out. More recently, and this is still Bitcoin, because everything kind of started with Bitcoin and everything sort of is Bitcoin, but different cryptocurrencies are sort of different people's idea of what you could use a Bitcoin type currency for. This is why I like pushing people to Bitcoin to get like the basic theory about what's going on.
Yeah.
Another one that I think is important that I also haven't read yet is called Soft War by Jason Lowry. So Lisa just got a copy of that. Maybe I can borrow hers, or maybe I can spend some money and buy my own. But I would recommend that too, just because I've read his part of his thesis already, and I know what he talks about in that book, so I can go ahead and recommend it without having read it first. Soft War, yeah, all one word. Jason Lowry, all one word.
I did not. Put a space there.
All right, maybe he doesn't have an audiobook up yet.
Yeah.
Could be. It just got released, so. Let's see. There is now the Web3 stuff. I haven't read any books about Web3, so I can't direct you there. I do love tacos, though.
There's a history of tacos. Dragons love tacos. What the hell?
What did you search for? You're the only one that can hear this, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's fucking sick, dude. It goes, dragons love tacos. That's sick. That's what this book is about.
That sounds great.
That's all it does.
2.
Oh.
This is Dragon Love Tacos 2.
Yeah.
The first one was such a success that they financed another one, a sequel.
I wish there was a way to get you to hear it. Oh, well. So, yeah, what else? What else is there?
What else? It's hard to say. I do so much online internet reading stuff that I'm not sure what the books are to recommend.
I can't believe that.
What else?
I
can't think of another one right now.
It's $5 for a 6-minute book.
That's expensive minutes.
With 273 ratings. So therefore,
they're selling, man. They're selling.
How many were sold?
It's sold enough to make a Dragons Love Tacos 2, bro. Tex-Mex edition.
My 4-year-old said she did not like it, and she's crazy for tacos and dragons.
Oh, well, if somebody crazy about tacos and dragons didn't like it, then you did a garbage job. A lot of 5-star reviews, though. Things like that make me want to create. Honestly, it makes me want to write children's books because it seems like, yeah, it's not easy, but I have AI now. I could probably make something happen and then sell it and make money.
Parents will like throw down $4 to keep their entertained for 4 minutes.
Oh, dude, 100%.
Yeah. All right. What other crypto books or Web3 books and shit like
I
that?
don't know.
Well, if you think of something, let me know.
I'll have to think about it. Yeah. Because I got Audible credits too. I'll have to shop around. If anybody has any ideas and you happen to be listening to this part of the show, leave them in the replies. Speaking of the replies,
I was going to put a post in Den.social's.
Yeah, do it up. There's a books layer. Most people should be auto-subscribed to it, so it should show up in their feeds if you post there.
Cool. I'd love to like try to get out of here soon.
Me too. I gotta go to the vet.
Dude, you're okay?
She's limping. She's fine, but she's limping. She's got deformed. I think she has genetically deformed hips.
Oh no, those hips don't lie.
So there's a couple of posts on a couple of layers. Jacob Wayne's leaning into the retro. He's been hitting estate sales and got Nintendo set up now with a CRT, a TV that has the VHS player built in. One of those classic.
Oh yeah.
And then picking up VHS tapes and stuff now too. I Am is one of our local preppers, and he rightly said to make sure that you include entertainment as part of your prepping plan. So getting things that don't require the internet to entertain you, really good idea. I don't know about VHS tapes because those might get demagnetized in an EMP or solar flare situation. So you're going to have to shield those behind like lead plating or in a Faraday cage.
Sounds like a very expensive way to watch VHSs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're better off just putting them all on like a thumb drive.
Yeah, I've got a local media server now called Jellyfin. It's open source, and you can have an app on your TV and on your phone and stuff, and then you can load up audiobooks and you can load up movies and music and all that, and you can stream from your own server without the internet, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
You just have to acquire the media first, the files.
Yeah, which we all know to do legally through legal means only. Don't ever.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay to have a backup of something you already own a physical copy of.
Yes,
I
it's
think.
Okay to steal it if you already own it because you own it.
Yeah, or to take what you own and rip it to a file that is then digital to use on your server. Like if I have, admittedly, I used to use Netflix like this back when they still had when they were a mail order DVD company.
Yeah.
Because you could get like 3 movies at a time. So I would get 3 movies at a time, and then I would rip them to a file and then send them back and get 3 more movies while I watched the files that I ripped. And then by the time I got done ripping them, the new ones would be in the mail. I would rip those and send them back and then watch the files. And we had a pretty good collection. Like people used to pass these around the ship in the Navy all the time, like hard drives full of movies and full of music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yes, I am saying that we participated in piracy as government employees. We were really bored and we didn't have access to the internet, so we just traded stuff.
It's okay. You were also taking down pirates.
We were literally, now that I think about it, we were off the coast of Somalia taking down pirates while pirating movies. That's interesting.
And if that is an irony,
yeah,
I don't know what it is because I don't understand that Alain Morissette song.
Yeah, they're not. They're unfortunate. She lists a lot of unfortunate things.
Whatever. She made a fuck ton of money off of it.
Yeah.
You can be whatever you want.
Yeah. Maybe that's the whole point, was to get people debating whether that's irony or misfortune, so that it's in the conversation.
It's not, isn't this ironic? Is this ironic?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it?
Is this ironic?
It is a question we're supposed to answer, right?
Exactly.
So hey, that's episode 73, I think.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Let's get out of here. Let's go check out my tutorial and give me all your money. Stuff like that. And make the world a better place. If you see something that you don't like, go fix it.
Or go hide in a cabin.
Or that. Maybe do both. Prep the cabin just in case fixing it doesn't work, because you never know.
Or throw money at it.
Maybe that's your way of fixing it. That's a lot of people's way of fixing things, is to throw money at it.
I hope people don't like me and they'll throw money at me.
Yeah, come fix us. Come fix us by throwing money at us.
I wish that's how jobs worked. We don't like you. Let's throw money at you. And see if we can make it.
Would you do this part of your job better for money? Actually, yes. Yes, I would.
That kind of makes sense now. I don't mind this so much.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's a song from Y'all Weird called Enter the Dragon. We'll see you next week. Go take over Den if you want. It's awesome. Peace.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.